Good morning, everybody. I am Jonathan van Clute with Stock Navigators. It is Thursday, November 15th, and we are going to take a look at what the markets did yesterday and this morning so far. As always, please do like the video if it was helpful, comment, subscribe, click that little alarm bell if you'd like emails telling you when I'm going live in the mornings and afternoons. Right now, I am 2 days a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays, morning and afternoon. So with that, let's jump into the S&P 500. And yesterday, not a huge range day. Still plenty of intraday volatility for the intraday trader, but for the longer-term trader, at the moment, it does look like the market is wanting to put in that first higher low. It may already have done so since yesterday actually did not get lower than the previous day. It stayed just a little bit higher. So right now, at the moment anyway, this appears to be the first higher low. And it is right between the 50 and the 61.8. Pretty much the sweet spot went right to the 61.8, in fact. So we are definitely, at least I am anyway, I'm anticipating a further move upwards. We'll have to wait and see, obviously, if we get that. The Navigator is trending upwards. So that's promising. We really need to get up over that zero line, though, to have any serious follow through to the upside. And then, of course, we would like to see a hop over the 21 EMA. We'd also like to see a hop over the box level as well, the top of the box. And then, of course, the ultimate signal that there's no question whatsoever we are off to a new trend direction is to get over these highs here, which also happens to be this sell zone here. So those are the things we're looking for if you're a longer-term bull in the S&P 500 or the broader market in general, because obviously the whole rising tides lift all ships concept means that if the broader market is going up, then individual stocks are going to be mostly going up as well. On an intraday basis, we did come down to the 161, or sorry, between the 161 and the 200. We actually even surpassed the 200 extension level just a little bit and then oscillated right back to it. And that's basically what we're playing with right now is this buy zone down here. We're right at the bottom of it. And at the moment, in the very short term, 60-minute time frame anyway, we do have a rising series of higher lows. And the Navigator, of course, has been divergent this entire time. But just because the Navigator is divergent does not necessarily mean that the market has to turn around. Markets can surprise you. They can always just shoot lower or higher than you think they should go, because all that actually matters is supply and demand. It's just going to all be about the decisions the people are making in the marketplace to push that market higher or lower. So as of right now, anyway, we have some bullish indications. We've got signs on both the daily and the 60-minute that suggest some bullish directional bias, but we'll have to wait and see how the market opens to see if we get confirmation of that to the upside. If you are a bear or concerned about bearish moves, then obviously you're watching for a takeout of this low here. And if that happens, then definitely we are looking to continue with some momentum to the downside. Of course, you always got to watch out for false breakouts, and it does seem that there are buyers down at this level. So I would be looking for a strong break of this level to confirm anything more to the downside after the amount of move down that we've had and the fact that we are right here in this retracement area. To me, this is a very good indication that we've put in a short-term bottom here. And now we just have to wait and see if it follows through and confirms that. Let's take a look at gold, which has come right down through and to the buy zone here. It did poke down below it, but then shot right back up into it. And that's where we are right now. So right now, gold is just stuck right in the middle of this buy zone and kind of going sideways. We do have 5 days in a row of magenta exhaustion histogram bars showing up on the Navigator. We are very, very, very oversold. Or did I say this was gold? I'm sorry. Morning blurry eyes. This is crude oil, of course. This is not gold. This is nothing like gold. Yes, crude oil. Anyway, it has had this huge, huge sell-off. It really seems to be overdue for a bounce. And we got a little bit of a bounce yesterday, but bounced right back up into this buy zone. And like I was saying, we've got significant exhaustion readings. We're down at the negative over the -50 level on the Navigator, which is very, very, very oversold. So, in my opinion, we are definitely due for either a bounce or at least just kind of some sideways move, maybe in this buy zone for a little while. So you can see that yesterday, we had a bit of that bounce that we were looking for. And then now we've just kind of gone sideways. But as long as this holds, then this becomes the first higher low. And we have the beginnings of an uptrend to reverse some of this decline that crude has had recently. Of course, the Navigator is also trending upwards. It's not a divergence or anything. It's not even divergent because we are not continuing to make lower lows. So price is going higher, Navigator's going higher. That is normal, healthy, standard behavior. But I do want to point out that previously we had this divergent Navigator here, and we were also seeing some exhaustion on the 60-minute. But the thing is, you can always go more. So even though we were seeing some exhaustion, we had a divergent Navigator, we were making lower lows and we were making higher lows on the Navigator. As you can see here, we had this big, huge additional thrust to the downside, and this can absolutely happen. This is a little extreme. Don't usually see quite so much exhaustion on a continued move, but it absolutely can happen. And the daily chart is really what told us that it was maybe finally starting to get done, because once you get to about 5 to 6 days of Navigator exhaustion, I don't typically see much more than that on a daily basis, at least. I mean, an entire solid week of extreme oversold or overbought type readings just can't be sustained. So definitely feel that we are due for either a bounce or sideways. So keep an eye on this low here. If you are concerned about continued move to the downside in crude, and if you're thinking bullishly, then you want to see a break of the zero line, close above the zero line on the Navigator, and you want to see a break of these highs here, which also, of course, happens to be the top of the box. So you could also just be looking at the top of the box level, the red line of the box, if you are using the box. We do still have these descending lines to get over. Up here, we've got this one. And then, of course, we've got the sell zone well up here. So crude's got a bit of work to do to reclimb these steps and reclaim some of this. But it certainly is capable of large movements. And once it kicks into a nice trend, it can pick up and move. So watch for, on a daily basis, watch for it to get out of this zone, either to the downside or the upside. That's really what you're looking for. Downside, next test is going to be this zone here. And upside, the next significant test, I mean, there is minor resistance here, but the next significant test is going to be the sell zone right up here. Now let's take a look at gold. So gold has actually managed to bounce back up into its channel. And the Navigator on the daily basis, it has crossed the zero line. So we are looking bearish on a daily. But right now, anyway, this uptrending channel line has held and pulled price right back into it. So it's possible that gold gets some bullish momentum behind it and wants to come up and test the upper end of this channel again. But typically, anyway, that would also mean that the broader market needs to have some downside happening. And right now, it sort of looks to me like the broader market is shaping up for some upside move. So I don't know if gold is really going to have it in it to pick up and move significantly to the upside. Navigator is certainly suggesting that we're heading toward the downside. And the intraday, we've kind of double bottomed down here. So there is definitely some support forming down here in gold. We have a continually rising Navigator. And so this is an example where we got follow through on a bullish divergence. We had, or divergent Navigator, that is, we had lower lows happening in the price and we had higher lows happening in Navigator. And that continued. We had, at that point, just higher lows, and then we broke the zero line, and then we were able to bounce decently on gold. Right now, however, we are just right inside the 60-minute box and just kind of going sideways right now. So keep an eye on these highs here intraday for continued move to the upside. And obviously for continuation to the downside, we're looking to take out this low down here. So those are the kind of key levels I'd be watching for. And of course, keep your eyes out for a break of the Navigator to the downside on the 60. If we get that, then that's going to be follow through to what we're seeing on the daily. And there'll be a decent chance of gold to head a bit lower. At a minimum, I would expect it maybe to go retest the bottom of this channel again if we get some downside momentum. And if the market suddenly resumes a very, very healthy up move, then gold could potentially break down out of this channel altogether and head lower. There are some support levels down below, some minor support. But other than that, there's not a whole heck of a lot. So you're going to be watching for a takeout of these levels here, these lows. That would be very bearish for gold. But gold has a tendency, anytime it gets down to below about 1200 or so, the buyers show up. That seems to be the general buying level is like 1100, 1200. And buyers will definitely show up at that level. So those are the levels that I'll be watching for gold. Now, crypto finally popped out of this wedge that has been forming for quite some time. And you can see that once it went pretty sharp pretty quickly, and it went to the downside. So the bears are rejoicing. The bulls are not too happy. We took out this low pretty much in one shot. You can see on the 60-minute, it was a very, very rapid move, just a couple of hours, most of it happening in just this hour here. And very, very fast move to the downside. We did then hit exhaustion on the 60-minute. Pretty big time exhaustion. We got down below minus 70 on the Navigator. I mean, seriously, massively oversold. But point this out, we have not even gotten exhaustion yet on the daily. Right? So that suggests, and we're only at negative 17 and a half on the Navigator. So that suggests there could be further downside in Bitcoin. It's, sad to say to the Bitcoin bulls, but there is room for it to move down and have one final leg down before maybe we finally get the reversal that the bulls have been looking for. Now, unfortunately, TradeStation hasn't had Bitcoin data for very long. So this is actually all the data I have. I can't go back any further and look for support levels, buy zones, anything like that in TradeStation. So right now, as far as as far as I'm concerned, from TradeStation data point of view, there's nothing. There's no support. It is just a free fall. Obviously, there will be support somewhere at some point. People are going to decide that it's too irresistible, it's too cheap, it's on sale, etc., and they're going to come swooping in. But as of right now, anyway, the bulls have firmly grabbed control. There's no question about it, and Bitcoin is wanting to head lower. So watch for some continued follow through on that. We'll be looking for, of course, a takeout of this low here. That's going to be very significant. And if Bitcoin can get over, say, maybe this level here and just kind of get above this little congestion area here, then there is some chance it might try to retrace a chunk of this. And, maybe it only retraces about half of it, but maybe it actually is able to, get all the way back over. Maybe this is that last thrust and this is the bottom and it's ready to turn around. We'll have to wait and see. We need to get some confirmation of which direction it wants to go. Right now, though, it is definitely closer to that bottom. Navigator is trending up, but that's, excuse me, that's mostly just because it worked off some of that downward move here. So, yeah, that doesn't necessarily mean all that much. We did have also a failed divergent Navigator. We even actually had a proper divergence. It actually got above the zero line. Price made lower lows. Navigator made higher lows. So we actually had a bullish divergence forming here. And it was, of course, obviously decisively canceled once we had that happen. There's no question at all that the divergence did not happen. So just goes to show that technical indications are just that. They are indications. They are suggestions of things that might be brewing. We always have to look for actual confirmation. And there's nothing is ever a 100% guarantee when it comes to trading. And finally, let's round out the morning analysis with a peek at natural gas, which went kind of nuts yesterday. Crazy move. Just a massive move to the upside. We got quite overbought on a daily, or up at 50, almost a 50 level on the Navigator. So very overbought, needing to pull back, really needing to digest some of that just absolutely ridiculous move to the upside. So it jumped right over and through that gap from way back in February, and also broke without any hesitation at all this minor resistance line and just rocketed to the upside. But now at that point, you can see on the 60, Navigator is definitely heading down. It's digesting that move. Oops. Yes, 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 I know. It's telling me I'm done. So right now, I see the likelihood of continued follow through to the upside being a little on the low side. But as I've mentioned before, since this is driven primarily by weather, this is not so much about technical factors. If the weather continues to be cold and we keep getting additional storms, things of that nature, then people could be driving natural gas higher. Traders might actually decide that demand is going to continue. So we're looking for a takeout of these highs. If you're bullish on natural gas, that's really what you need to see. Right now, we are riding right on that 21 EMA. And if that breaks lower, then you're going to want to look for it to take out this uptrend channel line here. And if that happens, or not channel line, sorry, just uptrend line. Whoops, I meant to say, go away. There we go. And my apologies. I was thinking I was looking at a different line. This is actually just indicating this divergence here. That was a slightly bearishly divergent Navigator. Price making higher highs, Navigator making lower highs. But again, as I was mentioning earlier, once you see confirmation that that has not held, then forget it. It doesn't even count anymore. So that absolutely can happen very easily. And there we go. Delete some lines here. It's deleting the wrong lines, but that's okay. So right now, that's what we're looking for is bullishly. We're looking for a takeout of those highs. Bearishly, really, it already has retraced a good chunk of this move. I mean, you can see from here to there. That's a reasonable chunk of almost about half of that move. So if you think that natural gas is going to head lower, then really you want to see it probably like take out the box level here. The prior box, the current box is just this little itty bitty one right here, and it's already below that. So really want to see it take out the prior box low. And ideally, of course, the 60-minute Navigator would break the zero line to the downside and then finally really be able to work off some of this exhausted condition that we have here on the daily Navigator. So natural gas, crazy move. If you were a natural gas trader, yesterday was a potentially big, big day. So hopefully, if you were trading natural gas, you grabbed a chunk of that. I was actually not watching natural gas in the early morning when the big move started to take shape. But it's a shame. Kind of wish I had been watching it. That would have been some great trading opportunity. So that rounds out the analysis for the morning. Right now, S&P heading slightly lower, so it is has broken down below this intraday buy zone, and right now is just holding at the bottom of it. So we might have a little bit more follow through to the downside today. We'll have to wait and see. Navigator did kind of hook around, is heading slightly lower on the daily, but it is significantly higher than it was back at these levels. So, I mean, maybe we go a little bit lower, test the 61.8 again, and then come around, turn back up. Or maybe once the open happens, buyers decide to come in and start driving the market up, and we get out of this buy zone and head to the upside. Watch for a break of that zero line on the Navigator on an intraday basis to really show you that the bulls are wanting to take control. All right, that is it for me. I'm going to get ready for my trading day. I had a great day yesterday. I hope you have a great day today. As always, please like, comment, subscribe, click that little alarm bell. Let us know what you like about these videos, what you'd like us to see us do, anything we can do for you to help you in your trading. We would like to do that for you. So until Tuesday, because this will be my last, or sorry, till this afternoon. What am I saying? It's morning. I'm thinking it's afternoon already. Oh, that's how badly I'm looking forward to this day blowing by. So yes, until this afternoon, 1 o'clock, I will be back, 1 o'clock Pacific, 4 o'clock Eastern. I'll be back for the afternoon analysis, and then I will be back on next Tuesday morning. And I will talk to you all then. Of course, we've got Thanksgiving next week, I do believe. So I gotta start paying more attention to the calendars, the holiday calendars, because when you just work from home every day, just kind of blurs together. It's easy to lose track. Anyway, that's it for me. Time to go get ready for trading. Good trading, everybody. Have a great one. Bye-bye.